At least 52 practicing veterinarians and 100 support staff members woke up this morning without a job. Thousands of pet parents lost their trusted veterinarians, many who were in the middle of treatment plans, wellness plans, hospice care, or end-of-life care.
Did anyone else get laid off from Microsoft today? No, just my husband? Yeah, unfortunately, we had some surprise news this morning. There was a bunch of layoffs at Microsoft, and a lot of people in Seattle, Bellevue area did get laid off with severance packages, including him.
I got laid off my job, y'all. Now, being how personal this is, I was not going to talk about it, but I seen so many others impacted online, so I got to tell my story.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be looking about worker layoffs, uncertainty in the job market that we have right now. So companies are cutting jobs at an alarming rate. Many employees feel the stress of sudden layoffs and job insecurity. Families are struggling and income disappears overnight. The workforce needs stability, but the future feels unpredictable. Without further ado, guys, let's dive into the videos and watch.
Hundreds of thousands of people have been laid off in 2025, and are you ever worried that you might be next? Seems like no jobs are really proving to be stable anymore. But how do you know if you're going to get laid off? If you're new here, I'm Emma, and I managed to successfully escape corporate, and now I'm on a mission to help others do the same. If any of these 5 warning signs apply to you, stick around and I'll share the exact method that worked for me to completely replace my income and then some. Here are 5 warning signs that your company might be getting ready to do layoffs. You're going to want to save this video, and please definitely share it with any friends that you care about that might be in a similar situation. Number 1, you start to see your company cut contract workers. I call these silent layoffs because no one really notices they're not permanent employees, just people getting paid hourly who suddenly disappear. Number 2, after cutting contractors, they do a hiring freeze. No one gets hired unless someone leaves, and sometimes people leave and they won't even try to replace them, which means you're probably doing double work, which is not okay. Number 3, your boss starts micromanaging you and tracking your performance closely. This might be because they're building cases for performance improvement plans, or PIPs, to justify cuts. If your boss suddenly starts paying way more attention to everything you do, especially if it's not what you're used to from them before, massive red flag, guys. Number 4, they really start watching their expenses. If you have a company card or plan meetings, you'll notice expense budgets and limits get cut drastically. When they start scrutinizing every dollar, that's a huge warning sign. Number 5, check the warn list. You can look it up online. See if your company and location is listed, and that's a guaranteed sign that layoffs are coming. You should definitely check this regularly and take it seriously.
Okay, let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think about that. Please like, share, subscribe. It's really important for me. I'm trying to grow this channel, so I do appreciate this, guys. And let's dive in the next video and watch, guys.
I know I have not been on here for a few days, but I've got some updates. I have worked in the city and lived in the country for the last few years. I've been at my job for the last 19 and a half years. And I have just got some information that is going to change my life. Our company is having a surplus in my work group, and they're positioning it as a consolidation. Now, I have been with this company so long that I have done the follow your work kind of thing, which means they tell you we're not going to have this office open anymore, so you're going to need to go over here to keep your job. I've done that. That's how I ended up in North Carolina to begin with, from Augusta, Georgia, where I started. So I had to move for my job before. I know what that's like. In this case, I would have to move across the United States somewhere, possibly. There's somewhere that's in the South that I could go, but more than likely it would be somewhere else in another region of the United States. And my husband just moved to a new company earlier this year, and I knew it would be a growing situation. So I had his back, obviously. They are building a company in fleet maintenance. He is making really good money. So it would be very hard for us to say, let's leave that job in order to follow your job. So we both make good money. He makes even better money than I do. So I really haven't 100% made my decision yet on exactly what I'm going to do. I have a lot of different options right now, and I'm taking this in a different way than I would have taken it a few years ago. I raised my kids on this job, my 2 older kids. I'm now married, and he's got 2 younger kids. So we are raising them as well. It's like doing the whole thing over again, but as like a 2-parent home. And it is a little bit different this time, but I did raise 2 kids on that income, that job, and it was an absolute must that I kept it. In this situation, I am considering options like going to school, like taking a state job. I don't need as much money at this point because I'm not doing this on my own. I don't have a lot of debt to pay off, to be honest. So if you guys want to follow me on this journey, while I am also trying to make money on TikTok Shop, and that's going, I don't know where it's going, but it's going somewhere. I would love to have you guys to talk to about it, because right now I'm not really sure how to feel. 19 years, it's like, I feel like I'm getting divorced, and the work has supported me when I needed it. The company has been the reason that I've been able to pay bills, put kids through college, and now it's just over. So it's almost like it's an identity that I've lost. And I don't know how many of you are out there who have gone through the same thing, who understand what I'm talking about, who've been at a job for a long time, and all of a sudden it's just not there anymore. So we don't know exactly when it's going to happen. We've just been given the heads up. I actually really appreciate that part of it. A lot of companies won't do that. I feel like my work group is still not sure how they are going to do it, because they have to pick, like, who are we going to keep? Who are we going to move? All these different things. We're in 22 different states, and they're consolidating us to like 6. They don't know who all is going to decide to move. They don't know who all is going to decide to pick up their family. Also, they are not paying for us to move. If we decide to move as management, we have to do that ourselves. When I was not management with this company, they paid for me to move. They paid for all my stuff to be moved. They paid for me to take trips to check out the new area. They're not doing it at this time. Anyway, please follow along with me. If you're going through something like what I'm going through right now, I really, really would love to hear from you down in my comments. Follow me, and I definitely want to know what kind of questions you have. If you've been through this before, if you're going through this now, I want to see if we can do this together. But stay tuned, because I don't know what's about to happen, but we're going to figure this out together. Peace.
I hope everything's going to be okay with this lady and everything's going to be alright. But in any case, guys, let me know in the comments below what do you think about that. Trying to add different stories for you guys here on this show. I hope you enjoy that. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
So, something we never talk about is that Trump supporters that own businesses and run businesses will gaslight their employees, just like the sociopath narcissists in the White House. We don't talk about that, do we? We're going to talk about it right now. So tariffs were supposed to be a big boon for manufacturing. American companies were going to be forced to purchase from other American manufacturers so they don't have to pay the tariffs. That would result in an increase in manufacturing output, right? Which isn't happening. And it would have a direct result of jobs being created. That's how we were sold on this. So, American steel, tariffs just hit August 1st. So, that means companies would be buying American-made steel, right? and we'd be hiring steel workers, right? So why did Dearborn Works in Dearborn, Michigan, owned by Cleveland Cliffs Corporation, just lay off 500 unionized, loyal, long-term employees? Huh? They make American steel. Everybody in America that manufactures parts that need steel, we're supposed to be buying from American steel manufacturers like Dearborn Works. Why aren't they hiring a shit ton of employees? Why are they laying people off? Well, here's where the gaslighting comes in. The CFO of Cleveland Cliffs that owns Dearborn Works, he's a super huge MAGA, big MAGA donor. He made the rounds on Fox News helping to push the tariffs by coming up with his own term, make American steel great again, all right? So what does he have to say to the 500 Americans that are now out of work and out of benefits? The tariffs are working exactly the way they're supposed to work. Quote, unquote. Another beautiful example of gaslighting that MAGA voters don't understand. He also gaslit all of them by saying, we just have to wait until the big three ramp up production again. He knows that there are tens of thousands of component parts that go into making a car. And that no matter what, GM, Ford, Chrysler have to purchase imported parts because we don't make them here. And that results in the increase in the price of the car at a time when a shit ton of employees have been let go, including from the federal government, at a time when people are struggling financially. And so they're not buying cars. And that's not going to change with this orange dude in Project 2025 in the White House. It's only going to get worse. But again, to the beginning, my original point, owners who support Donald Trump are also narcissistic gaslighters. So hopefully that's another 500 employees. I'm sure many of them voted for Donald Trump. Maybe they'll finally have something going on up here to see that they just sold out their own interests. Yeah.
Okay, guys, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below, to see. I'm trying to put, like always, different stories here, so I hope you do appreciate that. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
Did anyone else get laid off from Microsoft today? No, just my husband. Yeah, unfortunately, we had some surprise news this morning. There was a bunch of layoffs at Microsoft, and a lot of people in Seattle, Bellevue area did get laid off with severance packages, including him. So we now have a big decision to make, whether we stay here in the US or go back to Australia. It all depends on where he can find another job. So yeah, if anyone has any job opportunities or contacts for, jobs in tech, in program management, coding, that kind of stuff, yeah, just hit me up in the comments, especially if it's here in the Seattle, Bellevue area, or even back in Australia, like in Sydney, Sunshine Coast, Brizzy. We're open. We're open to seeing what we can get and seeing where this leads. Okay, thanks.
See people start searching jobs even over YouTube and TikTok and other stuff. So it's interesting. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
Those of us that know someone who's been impacted, about what we can do to show up and be a support system during this difficult time?
Well, that's such a great question, because a lot of times we feel helpless. The community, people that know these individuals, you don't know what to say or do. And one thing is important is to legitimize their experience. So engage in a conversation with them. Share with them how you're feeling about it. Ask them how they're feeling. Ask them what you can do to support them in this particular time. Something that simple goes a long way. And then help them identify resources that they could go to, or make contacts for them in terms of potential jobs or opportunities that they can explore. So it's a lot that each of us as an individual can do. We just have to kind of sit back and have the conversation, allow check to make sure that that person's willing to let you into that space. Most of the time they are.
Yeah.
Most of the time they're very willing to have a conversation, and then see what are the ways that you can do to support them.
Should we be focused?
Interesting thoughts, guys. Good advices. I think we can take some of them. What do you think, guys? Okay, let's dive in the next video and watch.
At least 52 practicing veterinarians and 100 support staff members woke up this morning without a job. Thousands of pet parents lost their trusted veterinarians, many who were in the middle of treatment plans, wellness plans, hospice care, or end-of-life care. There was no notice. People who depended on these jobs, built their lives around it, were left with no answers, no time to prepare, no warning, just gone. And this is absolute chaos. This comes less than 4 years after this company receiving $40 million in seed funding. That is money completely out the door. And I would absolutely not want to be an LP or a GP tied to those funds right now. It's gut-wrenching not just because of the scale, but because of the silence. This is what happens when companies are built for growth over people, valuation over values. Let me be the first to say that if you were a part of the vets, as a technician, a veterinarian, admin, support staff, I see you, and you deserved better. I am so sorry that this happened.
Yeah, it's a really bad when the veterinarians losing their jobs. We all pet parents. A lot of us as pet parents, and we love our dogs, cats, and I hope everything's gonna be alright with this lady, and she's not gonna lose her job. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
All right, this is Uncle Mooch. I see a lot of posts going around about major layoffs in 2025. Microsoft cut 9,000. We have a lot more companies, so a lot of companies are reducing their workforce in 2025. So Microsoft, they cut 9,000. TikTok cut jobs in the U.S. e-commerce. Bumble reduced their workforce by 30%. Intel cut 54 in Forsum. Raytheon cut 142 jobs. Salesforce cut 700 jobs. Amazon laid off staff in their book division. A lot of companies are restructuring because of economic hardship, and with the AI technology getting better and better, a lot of companies are going that route. AI doesn't sleep, it doesn't take days off, it doesn't do any of that stuff, and it doesn't ask for raises. But definitely stay strong out there, and let's just keep moving forward. Don't look back, keep moving forward, and things will get better.
Yeah, as you can see, a lot of huge companies, big companies, laying off their employees, and this is what happens over the states. Now, that's why I decided to add this in our show, just some statistic. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
I got laid off my job, y'all. Now, being how personal this is, I was not going to talk about it, but I seen so many others impacted online, so I got to tell my story. And I've been working IT for over 15 years. I transitioned from UPS over to this company because I thought it was a fresh opportunity on the restaurant technology side of IT. And the reason why I need to tell my story, because just something just seems off about it. I was the only one of us on the team, and just the way that the entire layoff was handled was a little bit sketchy. So I got laid off on July 21st on that Monday. Didn't even get to start work. I got called into a meeting as soon as the workday started. The way that the meeting went was pretty much, hey, we need to restructure. This is strictly a financial decision, and your particular position has been chosen to be eliminated. Now, mind you, I'm the only one of me on the entire team. Actually, it's probably, I think, 2 of us in the entire company. But they bring in a new guy a couple weeks before who does the same thing that I essentially do, minus building menus, but he comes in with a different position name. So this threw me completely off because, mind you, I have no reason to believe that my position is in any danger. None whatsoever. Like, minus a little bit of coldness, the past, I would say, like, year from my CIO. But as far as, like, my other team members, everything was straight for the most part. Like, I looked at them guys as my brothers, so I thought. I even worked on my cousin's funeral day 2 days before because I didn't want to take bereavement time. Now, of course, I still ended up going to my cousin's funeral, but that's how dedicated I was to the team. I didn't ask for bereavement time. I literally worked, jumped in our everyday Monday meeting, and then I cut out for the funeral a couple hours after and was even checking in on work throughout that day. So when I tell y'all that this layoff completely came out of left field, I was bamboozled when I got called into that meeting. There was no empathy in the meeting at all, none whatsoever. It was pretty much from him just, hey, you know what? This is a financial decision. It's just business. And that was it. I was immediately locked out of all systems, couldn't get into email or anything anymore like that. And then there was no type of follow-up after to ensure that I was okay. Now, this is where it starts to get tricky at. So I was promised 3 weeks of severance, a payout for my vacation time, but 2 weeks went by and I heard nothing from HR. So mind y'all, once again, I was laid off on July 21st. I sent them an email on Friday, August the 1st, didn't get a response. And then on Monday, August the 3rd, I sent them another email and finally got a response. So to say that they don't have their shit together is the very least. One of the HR representatives that emailed me back didn't even know what the hell was going on. Now, mind you, I still have the company equipment in my possession. I got everything because the company is 100% remote. I'm here in Nevada. I didn't get anything. Now, also, the way that I was paid out. So when you get laid off, I'm pretty sure, based on whatever state you're in, I'm in Nevada, that you're supposed to be paid out at a particular time. So the week that I worked before, I got paid out like the following week as if I was a regular employee. And then for that Monday that I worked, the day that I was laid off, I got paid for that Monday the week after. So I didn't essentially get a last check. I didn't get paid out for my PTO. Mind you, today is what? August the 12th? I still haven't been paid. Now, I'm telling my story because I've been on a whirlwind trying to find the right attorney to help me out. Now, I did speak with one who read over the severance agreement and determined that the severance agreement was kind of fair, but he just couldn't understand why the Virginia statutory laws were on the paperwork when I live in the state of Nevada. Now, let me backtrack a little bit so I can finish telling the story. So last week when I sent out that second email on August 3rd, I finally got a response. Now, they ended up sending me out a severance agreement that wasn't right. And then also, I filed for unemployment here in the state of Nevada and was denied because there was no actual history of me working since 2022 when I left UPS. So the company could possibly be based out of Florida. They could possibly be based out of Pennsylvania. So I filed unemployment in the state of Florida as well, the state of Pennsylvania, and got denied for both of those as well. So at the moment, HR is currently scrambling and scraping, trying to get this figured out so that I can get unemployment, but I just don't know which state it's going to be. And mind you, I talked about my vacation time. I still haven't been paid out my vacation time, and it's been, 3 weeks? Something ain't right.
Yeah, this is what happened, I feel sorry for this gentleman. Hope he's gonna be okay, and he's gonna find a new job and they're gonna pay all for his paychecks, and will pay for his vacation and everything's gonna be okay, This is what happens. This is why I decided, to put this in our show to share his thoughts with us guys. Hope you do appreciate this. Please don't forget, like, share, subscribe. I do appreciate this, guys. It's really important for me. And let's dive in the next video and watch.
Good morning, everyone. It's week 3, right? No, 2 weeks. So 2 weeks to the day. I'm losing track of time at this point. I have not been sleeping good at all. I need to build a new routine because this ain't doing it for me. I can't go to sleep at night. I go to sleep at 1 or 2, which is way too late for me. I'm normally asleep. I'm usually in bed by 9:30, so that means I'm in bed from 9:30 to 2 a.m. just laying there. I just re-downloaded a couple games because I'm if I'm gonna lay there at least I gotta do something other than just stare into the abyss. I made coffee this morning, as you can see. I added I made my own little concoction. So I kind of filled the bottom with honey. I added a pinch of my Baja Gold salt. I think that's it. And then I put my ice, and then I brewed a cold brew pod, and then I added an extra shot of espresso, a Peruvian espresso on top to give it a little extra. As you can tell, I need it. I feel so swollen. I don't think I look swollen, but in here I feel swollen. I'm very congested. I haven't really had bad allergies lately, but there's a bunch of stuff in the air, and it's been raining the past couple of days. So, well, it's not raining today. It rained yesterday for 10 minutes, but that was stirred up everything in the air. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have things on. I had a meeting yesterday. It went well. I have a couple things next week on the calendar that'll be an additional like income, so that'll be good. Just to get some extra cash. I think I'm supposed to get my severance this week. It'd be very nice to have. Just so I can put it in savings and not have to worry about it. Yeah, I am gonna get on applying more jobs today, and yeah, probably finish my pro museum. Like I said, I'm on the last set of bags, and I need to get some cleaning done. My office is a little chaotic. It's always been chaotic because it's kind of like office/storage. When I moved in, I worked from home, so it was like purely office. And then once I got a puppy, I had to turn it into like a dog room because I had to make sure like it was kennel because my youngest cannot run around the house by herself. She will tear up everything. Speaking of the youngest, hi, hello, hi. I wish you'd see your face. Hold on. Well, hello. Oh, okay, bye. Anyway, so I'm gonna figure out a new routine. I'm probably gonna like compile a list of things that I want to do every day and am gonna try to do every day. I start working out again too. It's been minutes since I've worked out. It's like my body does not feel good. Like it is in pain and I don't feel good. And I know working out will probably help that. I know. It's an excuse. And anyways, so happy Thursday. I almost said Friday, but it's not Friday. Although this week has gone by so fast. And I don't like it because it's like when you have the time, you don't want the weeks to go by fast. But when you like have a job, the weeks go by slow. I don't know. It's confusing. This whole thing is like a lot, but happy Thursday, everyone. I'm sorry this is such a long video.
Yeah, interesting things going on, guys. I hope this lady gonna be alright, and her dog gonna be alright too. She has a pretty nice dog. Okay, let's dive next video and watch.
With only a few weeks left in summer break, Chicago Public Schools announced they are going to lay off more than 400 teachers. Let's talk about it. Not only is Chicago Public Schools laying off more than 400 teachers, but they are also preparing to lay off more than 1,000 other school employees. In a statement put out by Chicago Public Schools, they state that these cuts are being made because of a $734,000 budget shortfall, and that generally they would have preferred to have these cuts happen in June, but because of budget processing delays, they had to wait and make these cuts now. To add insult to injury, Chicago Public Schools also put out a statement saying that they will be hosting job fairs to help workers find jobs elsewhere. I don't know about you, but if I was still a teacher in Chicago Public Schools, I would quickly be coming up with my exit strategy, because in 2024, they also laid off more than 1,400 employees. So this is the second year in a row in which they've done this.
Yeah, guys, what do you think about that? 1,400 layoffs and like including more than 400 teachers. It's really bad, man. Yeah, that's what happening. Okay, guys, let's dive in the next video and watch.
The great restructuring is not a joke. If you've heard about it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard about it, then we'll listen up for a quick second. So I've been seeing a lot of videos about layoffs just changing up the corporate world in general due to many factors. Just want to give you some stats. I'm reading an article right now, and listen to this. Over 62,000 job cuts were announced in July. This is the highest level of job cuts since the early months of the pandemic. This pushes the total number of job losses in 2025 to over 800,000 jobs have been lost. It's saying that there's many different factors for this, but one of the biggest reasons, and we all know this unless you're living under a rock, is because of AI. AI alone, it was cited that over 10,000 jobs were cut because of it. Last month, July. And this statement was put out from a career coaching company, which I'm actually using. So this isn't fake news. I don't know. I just wanted to give those facts. I think this is a little scary. AI is here to stay, I believe. It just keeps growing. So I guess learn what you can about it. Don't fall behind the curve. Or find something that has nothing to do with AI. I don't know. Everything does these days. So that's what the great restructuring is about. I don't know. I'll keep you guys up to date on what else I read about this. It's truly bananas. Bananas.
Yeah, this is what is happening right now, So basically, AI taking all the jobs, That's why a lot of job cuts right now, too. And we need to be prepared. We need to know about that, and I hope this information was useful for you. So guys, I'm done for today. Be safe, and like always, bye for now.